Hi, it's Anne here, and today's video is just a little get ready with me. I did one of these a few weeks ago, and yeah, I just wanted to do a little catch up. That last one was a little bit of like, why have I been away from this channel, kind of what's going on. This one's going to be kind of a little bit more of a life-ish update. I don't know. We're just kind of winging it right now. I just wanted to film something right now. I don't know when this video will get posted. Probably not right after I film it. It's probably going to be a bit of a delay, so timing of some of this might be a little weird. But anyway, it's going to be less about the makeup and more about the talkie, but I will try and mention everything that I am using and note it down below. I have already done my base and my eyebrows. So my base is the Danessa Myricks. I don't know what this is actually called. Universal like blurring stuff. I kind of want to buy a larger size of this. I'm going through this fairly quickly considering I haven't used it a whole lot. So that's what I've got as my primer. And then my foundation is one of my Project Pan ones, the Covergirl Trublend Matte Made in M20. The brows, I used a little bit of this, which I realize is the wrong one. I think it's the yellow packaging you're supposed to buy. So yeah, and I've got a whole lot of this left. So I'm not sure how I'm going to use this up, but I do want to buy like the one that's a bit more holdy, because this one has a bit of hold, but not as much as I would like. And then I use the Brow Gal. Specifically, I use the middle shade in here because it's sort of like a cool toned shade. And my brows are a little intense, but hopefully once we do the rest of the makeup, they'll look a little bit better. Yes, my eyebrows are uneven. This eyebrow lives like a whole plane above the other one, so not a whole lot I can do about that. So let's pull the hair back and get started. And like I said, it's not a super exciting look that I'm doing, but I do want to play with the Welcome Foolish Mortals, the Haunted Mansion palette from Colourpop. Specifically, I want to play with these shades down here, the greens, because I have not played with those yet. And maybe we'll play with that one ghost color too. This color's, it's hard to see on camera. It doesn't really look like much on camera, but it's got like a really interesting shift to it. So let's just start playing with the eyeshadow. Really don't know what I'm doing here, but we're just gonna play. Nothing too fancy. Let's start off with, I'm gonna start off with this brown shade just to kind of set a little bit of a base here. Bring my mirror a little closer. So obviously the major thing that has happened is Eeyore passed away. It'll be almost 3 weeks ago now. And like I'm fine. I mean, I have moments where I'm not fine, but it's funny, I have friends and family that are kind of reaching out to me and like, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, I'm okay. Like, the fact that you keep asking me that I'm okay is starting to, like, I think you're not okay. And that's something, you know, no fault of their own. I don't know if I mentioned this on camera before, but that's something I didn't really think about, is how looking after these senior dogs affects my friends and family. Maybe even more, because I go in with knowing, you know, it's not always going to be a positive outcome. Like I knew when I started fostering Eeyore, it was going to be short. And at the beginning, I thought it was only going to be a month. Like that first month was a bit of a whirlwind. We did a lot of things. It's funny, when you have a foster, you make a lot of notes, especially at the beginning, because you're kind of tracking how are they doing. You have to give updates to the rescue. You really want to give a sense of, you know, their health, their personality, particularly if they're going to get adopted out. But in his case, again, because he was not well, it was like, okay, where is this going? And like my notes early on was like, he doesn't really play. He gets these little old man zoomies for like a minute, but doesn't know where he's going. And it was interesting to see the change over time, like things about like toys. Like he didn't play with toys at all when I first got him. And then all of a sudden he started playing with toys, and then he started playing with toys a lot. And then the last probably month, didn't really play with toys at all. So like seeing the changes and that quickly was hard. but interesting to see sort of the progression over time. But yeah, I never really thought about how much it affects my family because I'm with him all the time. I get to play with him all the time. I get to care for him all the time, see him all the time. My friends and family don't. And so like their little moments with him were fleeting at best. And he was not the nicest to everybody. I will admit that. It was very odd that he was so good with me. But I mean, he growled and barked at other people. But kind of learned that that was part of his like breeding, that he was like a protector. That's the kind of dog that the sort of the Podango side was. So anyway, I'm going to go in with the shade on the lid. It's the Ballroom Ghost shade. I love the ballroom scene. That's like one of the most memorable scenes. Like if you've ever been, like the scene when I was at Disney as a kid, like that scene really stood out to me. But yeah, it's been, I mean, I have moments like I was searching for a lip gloss the other day. So like I'm emptying out my purse and pulling everything out. And I found his tag, and, you know, that kind of little punch in the gut that I've been carrying his tag around ever since, you know, I said goodbye, because I took that off, you know, when we were at the vet. So it's like I didn't realize I was carrying that around. He did visit me, finally, in a dream. It's interesting. Harley didn't visit me early at all. It took like weeks. And then finally, same with Eeyore. It's taken weeks. And he did. It was a little bit of a mix. I feel like it was a little bit of a mix of an Eeyore Harley thing, but it's mostly Eeyore. And like the thing that was like the most memorable to me is like his little tail, a little butt wiggle. I used to call him Little Wiggle Butt, my little wiggle butt. I don't know if I have video. Like I remember trying to record a video of that when I came home once, but it was so hard to. So if I have that video, I will, you know, plop it up.
Here's my little wiggle balm. Hello. 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 Hi. Hello. 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 You ready for a walk? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, belly rubs. Belly rubs first.
In here, cover my face, whatever. But that was always really exciting. I'd never had a dog. Like Harley was always excited when I came home and was very vocal. All of them would be excited, but he had this like extra exuberance when I would come home. Like my brother, one time I was home, my family home, and he saw it. He's like, "Oh my God," he's like losing his mind. I'm like, "I know." He goes crazy when I come home, and I was literally like outside for like 5 minutes. So I mean, I miss that. I miss, you know, I feel like all of the dogs that I have teach me something, and he taught me. Like I loved Harley, and I always joke like I like a lazy dog because I'm kind of a lazy person, but Eeyore was not a lazy dog like at all. And it kind of taught me that, you know, maybe like a dog that has a little bit more energy, that likes to walk, that likes to do stuff is maybe kind of the right dog for me. Like it's definitely a balance. Like I couldn't go for like a boxer or like a border collie, at least a border collie in their prime. But, you know, a dog that's wanting to walk and wanting to explore. Like I loved that about Eeyore. He was so excited for any new adventure. Like I took him, one of the first things I did with him is I took him to a place called High Park here in Toronto, and he was pulling me all over the sidewalk. And of course, you know, some old guy was like, "Oh, it looks like your dog's walking you." I'm like, "Ah, funny." Sorry, it's like the worst joke. But like he was pulling real hard because he was so excited, and that was exciting for me. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, Graveyard Stroll. It's kind of like a gray green. It's a very interesting color. So I would say one of the hardest things losing Eeyore for me is just sort of my state of mind. It's very interesting because losing Eeyore has been different. It's gotten real dark. It's interesting how losing Eeyore was different than losing Harley. And it brought up a lot of memories or feelings around when I lost my mom. And the main feeling is this sort of like floating. Like I feel untethered to something, untied. I feel like I'm, just floating. Like I have no purpose, nothing grounding me, nothing that's like to focus on. And because he was everything, right? Like, especially when you're working with senior dogs or when you're, working with sick pet, they're everything. Like, you're 100% like hovering and watching and doing everything for them. Like, my weekends were planned around Eeyore, whether it was planned around an activity or just planned like, I had to come home to make sure I was here. Like, I wouldn't go far or for long, because it wasn't good to leave him like as a senior dog for a very long time. So yeah, that was just like the first few weekends there. It's like I just didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know where to go, what to do, what to focus on. So I've been trying to take the past couple of weeks, once I kind of got over, like I did go through like a lethargic stage of just nothing. Like I just did nothing. And I accepted that that was okay. Like it's hard for me to do that, but it's like I needed to just chill and just do nothing. For the last couple weeks, I've slowly started doing some cleanup around the house. So not having a dog makes it a lot easier to clean and things stay clean. Eeyore, especially when I first got him, he shed like crazy. And it was odd because he's not the type of dog to shed, like at least a lot. But I think because he was so sick, like his fur, like especially when I first got him, his fur was just like everywhere. Plus it was springtime. So it was like a combo of like, spring shedding plus him just not being healthy. And yeah, like, so I've been cleaning up and I've been like decluttering stuff. Like I've already donated a whole freaking garbage bag of clothes, like stuff like I just accepted that don't fit anymore, like I'm never gonna wear. I do find it hard to let go of clothes that are still functional and that I could maybe wear. But am I really going to? Am I likely to? I've got to kind of get over that. So I'm going to try this brush. I don't know if it's going to be a good brush, but I'm going to try this brush with this ghosty color. We're going to put that on the inner corner. Yeah, I'm trying to clean up, trying to reorganize some stuff around my place, letting go of some stuff, deep cleaning, that kind of stuff. It's easier to do that when you do not have a dog or a pet because they're just messy. Pets are messy. We know this. Man, it is dark. So yeah, just kind of resetting, figuring out what I'm doing with my life. I've talked about this on and off, is like my job situation is not ideal. I'm just using that like graveyard stroll. I'm trying to like deepen this outer corner here. But I'm just trying to like not get too stressed about it right now. I would like to move on, but I also just need to take a breather and just reset. And it's a big change losing Eeyore. It's been a big change. Like I've gone through 4 dogs in 2 years, a year and a half, and that's a lot. And like 2 have passed away and 2 have been adopted. So it's a lot of change. And I've also changed jobs. Back from the job that I did temporarily for like a year and a half to my old job, which has been, it does feel like, I said this before, it feels like a step backwards, but I got to get over that. And, I don't see myself staying at this job. Been pretty transparent about that. I kind of feel like I have to. I feel like I'm done with the eyes. They're fine. We're not going any further with that. I might touch them up at the end, but that's where we're going with it for right now. I'm going to put some eyeliner on. Just have my black Essence eyeliner. And one of the things I talked about, like my job is not super accommodating for having a dog, especially a senior dog that requires a lot of attention. But they were pretty good because I already had Eeyore when I went back to my old job. So it was like, what am I going to do? And like them knowing that he wasn't going to live very long, I think that was the other reason why they were fairly accommodating. So I don't know what to do going forward because I would like to eventually foster again. And of course, it'll likely be a senior. But they do take a lot. And I don't think they're going to be so accommodating to be like, hey, FYI, I got a new dog. Not coming into the office. And that's the biggest issue is we are supposed to be mandatory 3 days in office. It's been like that for about I want to say since 2022. But when I was in this job the last time around, that was a bit flex because we were still trying to figure out office spaces. We had changed offices, like my team. So there was like some, trying to figure out where we were going. And then it wasn't so bad when I changed jobs because the temporary job was a closer office. So I actually could go home. And that's what I did. So I went. So I can't remember if I mentioned this, but when I was applying for jobs, I was purposely looking for offices that were close enough to home because at that time I had Harley and Harley was declining and he needed a lot of attention. I thought he was going to live a little bit longer. He unfortunately passed away before I even started that new job. That was also what made that different with losing Harley was I felt like I had, in a weird way, something to look forward to. I was going to be starting a new job. It was something that was, I don't know, to me it was a positive distraction. Somebody at work had said to me, like when Eeyore was sick near the end there, and they're like, well, let's focus on work and let's do this meeting and talk about blah, 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 and this will like be a good distraction. I'm like, no, this is not a good distraction. I don't like this work. And I'm just getting angry and annoyed because all I want to do is focus on Eeyore because he is so sick. So that was hard. Yeah, with Harley having a job at the time that I was looking forward to, it was something new, kind of was a good positive distraction. And it was also a bunch of people that I was working with that didn't know anything about Harley. So I didn't really have to talk about him. I didn't have to like explain anything. It wasn't really a thing. The hardest part was like people knew that I fostered and adopt dogs. So like, oh, do you have a dog? And I'm like, mine just died. Like super awkward. I'm just going to curl my lashes here. But for the most part, it was an easier transition because I didn't have to talk about Harley because nobody really knew. And again, it was a brand new job, brand new people to focus on. So yeah, I would like to get a new job. Ideally, I would like to get something that's 100% remote. Or again, if there's an office, it's close enough that I can come home. I would also prefer if it's not like mandatory. Like, I don't mind going in the office, but I get super freaking annoyed if I have to go into the office and there's no point. Like, it just... And I've always been that way. Like, I've always kind of... Well, I worked from home full-time, like, 10 years ago. More than 10 years ago now. And then, even when... Not this current job, but, like... Yeah, since I've been working full-time, I've always worked from home on and off. I mean, that's the beauty. I've primarily worked in IT. And it's like... When you're in IT, you can work from anywhere. Like, because where your servers are or where your clients are not where you are. Like, we worked with clients all over the world. So it's like, it's not like I'm ever meeting them in person. So it doesn't matter if I'm in the office or not. It doesn't matter. They don't know where I am. And as long as I can connect to what I need to connect to and do what I need to do, what does it matter? I mean, I have been lucky with some jobs. Like I said, my last job, I really had a great team. Like, we started off so great that we had this great... That's probably happened maybe 3 times in my life. Well, 4. There's been 4 times where I've had a really, like, solid team where you just gel and you can be yourself. And when you've got it, you've got it. When you've got this great team that's, like, everybody knows what they're doing. Everybody is just, like, easy to get along with. You can be yourself. I... definitely thrive when I can be myself and I can get excited about certain things. Like I've talked about, like data, I get super excited and I can be a super nerd about it. And if I'm working in a job where it's like that, I know I thrive. My current job is nothing like that. My current job has nothing to do with data or technology. Like, it's technology adjacent, but it's not technology. So it's hard for me because I'm really just like fish out of water all the time. And that's exhausting when you're not being able to be yourself and you're doing work that's not your comfort zone. I feel very drained. So anyway, I'm trying to like see the positives in this job. Trying to take from it what I can, but I am looking to move into something that I'm more jazzed about. I'm using the Flower Heat Wave bronzer. This I got from Ruth. I like it because it's a little more rosy, cool tones. Like, it's hard to explain. because it's still warm, but not super warm. One of my friends is trying to convince me to apply for a job that I'm not sure I'm suited to. There's definitely perks to it, but I don't know. I'm afraid of jumping ship just for the sake of jumping ship, and I don't want to do that. I want to do something that makes me want to get up and go to work every day. And I've had jobs like that. I've had jobs that are super stressful, but rewarding. That makes sense. So it depends. I'm trying not to stress too much about it. I have been doing, some training, and I've been looking. I've applied to a couple of jobs. I already got no's and and ghosting, where they just don't respond, which is always sucky. I'd rather, just tell me no, so I'm not, sitting waiting. I'm just going to play with this blush. I don't know why I pulled this. I think it was just the marbling of this made me think of the marbling of this. So, and I haven't really used this blush. This was the one that I got from Primark when I was in Scotland last year. It was a good shade to pick or not with the eye look. I did not pick anything for lips. Oh no, I did. I'm good. Although I forgot my lip liner, so that's fine. We'll probably grab that once I fix my hair. So yeah, same old story of I need to find a new job. I don't know. Part of me is just kind of riding with what I'm riding with and taking, again, it's a job that I've done for a while, so it's not super new to me. I do have some free time after work, so I'm trying to focus on other stuff. I'm doing a little bit more filming. You might have noticed. I'm doing a little bit more filming, not a whole lot, but we're getting back into the swing of things with filming. So that's something which is positive and makes me happy because you guys are the best. I mean, that's one thing that I felt over the past few weeks, that filming has given me life again. You guys have given me life again. Been watching more people's videos. I've just had a bit more time to do that. I'm playing with the Ofra Samantha March highlighter. Words. Again, didn't have a marbly highlighter because this was if I do marble bronzer, marble blush, I don't have a marble highlight, but this was two-toned. So I figure close enough. This one's definitely an intense highlighter. I've been trying to play with putting highlighter up here a little bit, just for something fun and different. Kind of doing the C highlight around the face. A little here, a little there. So yeah, nothing too exciting going on other than Eeyore has passed away, and I'm trying to gather myself together again and figure out where I go from here, because I just don't know. I don't know what's next for me. I don't know what to focus on fully, but I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm trying not to. One of the things I stress about a lot is not doing enough. I definitely get I call it time anxiety. There's not enough time to do all the things that I want to do, and time goes by too fast, and I just need to chill a little, do what I can do when I can do it, and not get too bent out of shape when things don't go exactly as I've planned or as quickly as I've planned. But yeah, it's definitely been a weird time these last few weeks, and like I said, I'm okay. The wild thing with Eeyore was after he passed, I wanted to have a dog right away. I was I want a dog. I want to the rescue I work with posting dogs, and I was gonna apply to foster almost every single one. Excuse me. And obviously I know that's a bad idea, but it was the first time that I felt that hole that I wanted to fill. I felt so empty. And it's funny because I think about, I've never been a relationship person. I've never felt like I needed another person. I have a sibling that's always been he was a continuous relationship person, could never be alone. I know a number of people like that just can't ever be alone. They feel like they need to be in a relationship. They're not happy on their own. I've never felt that way, but now I kind of understand that, because losing Eeyore and having that hole was I feel, I don't want to say less of a person without a dog, but I feel I'm missing something. My life feels like it's missing something, and it's definitely something I think about a lot now, that like I am meant to have a dog in my life, or more than one, but at least one. I mean, it's hard. I live in a condo in the city. I would love to have more dogs. I just don't have the space or the time to devote to more than one. I could maybe do two littles, but not two bigger dogs, but definitely one. And it's just like, I've accepted that that's a purpose in my life, to care for these animals in the way that I can. So, you know, people talk about, you know, you are just you. You don't have to have a purpose. You don't have to chase something. You don't have to do a certain thing to feel like you're worthy. And that's not really what I'm saying. It's more like I found a purpose. Like I have found a purpose for me that it's maybe not all of my life, but it's going to be a big part of my life going forward. I don't want to not do it. The thing that I struggle with, though, is trying to find that balance of, like, I need to work and I need to make money. And actually, like, the jobs that I've had and being able to have good, you know, well-paying jobs has afforded me the ability to look after dogs. So it's like this weird tension of making sure that I have a job that gives me the time to devote to dogs, but also pays me enough to devote to the dogs. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but yeah, that's kind of like where I'm honing towards. Where that leads me, I'm not sure, but I feel like I've nailed something down in my life that feels good. Anyway, I need to grab my lip liner and I need to fix my hair, and then we'll come back and wrap this video up, because I feel like I've kind of gone on a tangent and I'm not even sure if I'm making any sense anymore. Okay, I might have cut out what I was just talking about, because I feel like I went on a weird tangent. So if this video feels like it just jumped a little, because I went on a tangent talking about dogs. Maybe not everybody wants to hear about that. I did also just want to shout out that I did post a little reel on my Instagram. This video is like a classic exhibit A of overthinker. I overthink everything. And yeah, I'm really, really happy about that little story. And it's kind of a side of me that I don't always share. But like, stuff like that happens to me all the time. Not all the time, but I make a bigger deal out of things than I need to. And I'm just proud of myself for doing something that I held myself back from doing for almost a full year, because I'm crazy. No, I'm not crazy. That's not fair to say. I just overthink things for no good reason other than my brain goes like 100 miles an hour. So anyway, lips, lip liner. I use this lip liner all the time, and I need to find a drugstore dupe. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude. It's one of the few cool tone lip liners that I have. And it's not even cool tone. It's like just very neutral. Almost all of my lip liners are warm in some aspect. And then I'm going with the lipstick in Caramel Glacé. It's gotten really dark again. And it's a little bit better. The clocks have been reset. So now we're just in dark mode for the next couple months. So yeah, that's Caramel Glacé from the Revlon Super Lustrous Lipsticks, which I really enjoy this formula. I'm thinking about buying more to test out. I enjoyed doing that lip swatching video, and I kind of want to do a second one, which I talked about in that video, I think, or at least I put it in a comment down below. So yeah, this is the final look. I'm really enjoying this palette. I'm enjoying the quality. Like, so filming while you're doing makeup, unless you've done it, sometimes when you see people do it, it's like, I don't know how people do such a good look, because I'm talking and doing my eye look, and it's like hard to coordinate the two. And sometimes when I'm editing back, I'm like, oh girl, that didn't work out. But this one, I feel like that went on really easy, blended really easy. The shades look really nice together. I'm really liking how this color story turned out. So yeah, I'm enjoying this. I haven't used it a whole lot. That's, I think, the second or third time I've used it, but I want to play with it more. Definitely enjoying this palette a lot. So that's it. I think I'm done. I'm not going to powder my face. I was going to powder it and spray it, but I'm just going to leave it. This foundation sets really well, and it makes me feel like I don't really need to actually powder it. My face does get oily like late day, so I can powder then, but I feel like it doesn't feel like tacky. I don't feel the need to like powder right away, if that makes sense. Okay, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to wrap up this video other than, this is where we're at. Things will probably change I'm looking forward to change. I know I need change, but I'm not going to force it. I've talked about this. I don't know if I mentioned this in a video. I think I might. Like, I'm taking a break from fostering for a bit. Like I said, I want a dog right now, but one of the things, like, I'm cleaning up house, so I can't take a dog right now. I'm really trying to clean up house, get everything a little bit more organized. I will be putting up my Christmas decorations soon-ish. I always wait till after Remembrance Day to do that. And yeah, I thought about I might foster over the holidays, or like dog sit over the holidays. Just because it's a nice time, and people are always looking for dog, like, you know, somebody to look after their dog for a day or two. So it might be a nice time to at least have a pet over the holidays without too much of a commitment, at least on my side, because I know I need to, like, chill a little on that aspect, but if I can at least help somebody else out, that's something I can do. And yeah, I do want to continue fostering. I do think I will take a break from a palliative case. It, you know, in hindsight, it was probably too soon after Harley, but it also for me wasn't. But I realized, like, on the bigger picture, like I said, it was probably maybe not the best idea. I don't know. It's hard to say, because, you know, I don't regret any of my time with Eeyore or having, you know, taking him on. It, you know, I don't regret that decision at all. So, you know, it's just, we'll see what happens going forward. Like I said, change is inevitable. I think one of the biggest changes for me, I do need to find a new job, and my goal is to find a job that helps accommodate that I do the senior foster and senior rescue stuff, because that's important to me, and I need to find a job that's more flexible for that. And my current job just, it really isn't. Like, I feel like I got lucky with Eeyore and they were accommodating with him, but I know that that's not something that they would be accommodating going forward. I hate saying going forward. That's such a businessy term. But I know my luck will run out with that, and I can't push that too far. So, and I do want to find a job that has better purpose for me. That's something, I don't know if I mentioned this when I was talking about my job earlier, but some coworkers have said, you know, just, it's like the current job is not great. And it's like, oh, just, you know, do your best and, you know, just take your paycheck. And it's like, so these coworkers of mine, you know, they're fine, but they're like late in their career. They're going to be retiring in about 5-ish years. I've got like 17, 18 years. I can't just sit around and be okay with not feeling like I'm contributing and not feeling like I'm growing as a person either. You know what I mean? Like, we spend so many hours at work. I need it to have purpose and value. And I know that's not for everybody. Like, a lot of people can just go to work and get the work done and go home. And I'm certainly doing that right now. But it's hard. Like, I feel that's more draining to me than doing a difficult job. Not more draining. It's draining in a different way. It's hard to explain unless you've been in that kind of job or position where you just feel like your soul is being sucked out slowly every day. And I don't want to be that person, because that's not who I am at my core. So anyway, I'm kind of like tangenting here. This video is going to be way longer than I want it to be, but if you've stuck around this long, I really appreciate it. And if you have, maybe give it a little thumbs up. Maybe give me a little emoji down if you've stuck around this long. I'm trying to think of what's a fun emoji. It's November. Let's do like a little leaf. You know, the colors are changing, the leaves are falling. Let's do a little like maple leaf or like a little leaf. You know, things are changing. And, or whatever emoji you want. I don't really care. Pick your favorite emoji. So anyway, if you like this video, feel free to give it a little thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you did subscribe to my channel here in Toronto, Canada. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.